Coming off of 2 wins, the team's feeling really strong. Momentum is on our side right now, so we got to keep that ball rolling as much as possible. We're starting towards the back of this first heat, so try to pick off as much as we can and settle in for whatever finish we can.
Okay, so we're coming off not a good run from last week. We got dumped in going into turn 1 and fought back for a 7th place finish. So coming in tonight, we're looking for some retribution here, and we're starting pole in the first heat, and just looking to stay out front. We need to keep going with these heat wins and racking up those points. Got the checker, so that's good. That's an extra 10 points in our pocket, and looking to put everybody else further behind us. Second heat we'll be starting dead last with a full inversion, and see how we can get there up to the front.
Second heat, we started probably around mid-pack, and again, just worked my way forward slowly but surely. And as soon as we made the pass for the lead, all of a sudden there's a caution and then a red flag. I didn't really know what happened, but it turns out the 16's throttle hung up and she took a really hard hit. It's pretty scary stuff when something like that happens out here at the track. So first concern is her safety and making sure she's all right, and then we get going racing again.
It sucks to see Kathleen. She throttle stuck and hit the wall hard. It's one of the hardest hits I've ever seen somebody hit like that at full throttle. Glad she's okay, and hopefully she'll have that thing back out for the next race next week.
Ended up coming home with a heat race win, which always feels good. And now we just got to do what we can in the feature and try and duplicate that result.
We got our way up to 6th place, which isn't too bad. A 1st and a 6th place in the heats. I mean, that's respectable. It's still would have been nice to get a couple more spots, but we'll make it up in the feature. So the plan is we're going to team up and head to the front. So we worked our way through traffic. Darrell's in tow, and that's what we did. The outside lane went, and we just started picking them off as planned, and doing good. We catch up to Robley. He's been leading for the last 13 laps, and caught up to Robley and put him behind us, and Time to check.
We were run 1-2. We had checked in from the field. I had a few good strong runs looking underneath them, but I couldn't mount anything up strong enough. And just as I was getting under him, getting a fender under him, we got a caution. So that sucked, but now we got to restart and see what we can do. On the restart, we ended up having some help from behind and getting moved up pretty good and out of shape. So I shuffled back, got freight trained a little bit, and just had to ride. And then all of a sudden, the 51 car just got out of shape, wiggling into third, and then boom, this huge cloud of white smoke, and everybody was blind. It was probably one of the scarier things I've ever gone through, because I've never been just completely blind out there with no idea where to go. But luckily, everyone came out of that more or less unscathed, and we got racing again.
There's another caution, which actually turned into a red flag. So everything cooled off quite a bit there. So the car wasn't that great for the next restart. Once we went racing again, green. Car was just so tight in the center. Like the 7 was right on my bumper, and I was holding them up, doing everything I can to protect the bottom. I mean, going into 3 and 4, I got sideways just a little bit with 3 laps to go, and he gave me the bumper. He was able to get back to the throttle before I could, so we kind of got back going again. I kept up with him as long as I could, and we got second again. That's all right. It's a good points night. We got a second place in the feature. Heat race win, 6th in the other heat race, so it's a good night. We accomplished what we wanted to, put everybody else behind us, gained extra points on Darrell, so he's 9 points behind us now. Shay's up to, I think, 18 points behind us, and it was a wash with Brandon, so mission accomplished. We're going to go into next week and kick some more ass.
The 7 and the 55 got pretty racy, and I was rooting for the 55 car. I was trying my hardest to catch up to them and get to their bumpers, but couldn't quite get there. The 7 made a pretty good bump and run on the 55. Got by him with 2 laps to go and just stole that first place victory away from the 55 car again. Feel sorry for Gary. He's real close. He's knocking at the door, but he just can't quite seem to tie the loose ends up at the end. So that's good for us, but he still gained a lot of bonus points. And even though we've got a 4th, 1st, and a 3rd in the night, which is a really good night, he's still gained points on us because of those bonus points. So we're going to have to do what we can and make sure that we race a little bit harder and keep them within sight at all times. We can't let them open up those little gaps. Race by race can add up to a lot. So going to have to do a little bit more and keep them in sight for the rest of the year.